Kenya. I think we have repaired it a number of times. We built a new one from Iganga through Tirinyi, Tumbare here. Then we built another one from Parisa through Mukongoro to Kumi. Then we built another road from Musita after Magamaga through Mayuge, through inside there, Namayingo, all the way to Busia. And we are building the one from Busia to Tororo. Now we are going to build the one from Navumari, Butareja, Namutumba. And then the one, my road here where I used to sit. You know, when I was fighting Yamin, no, I thought I was in Tororo, I'm in Mbali. I used to sit in Tororo there. There were some town council houses, small ones, on the road to Nagongera. And I would sit there and see, this is very straight Maramu Road, but I would sit there and watch. So that road, I've been seeing it from 1961, 1971. So we want to tarmac that road, Nagongera, Busorwe, Butareja. Now, we would have done these roads long ago. This is also something you should talk about in your paper, in your news. But there is some lack of convergence between us, the bush fighters, and you people, even the population. Because for us, we are realistic. We are not dreamers. We do what is possible. And therefore, that's why we believe in the principle of Kamwe Kamwe Gwe Muganda. One by one makes a bundle. But some of the other people, they want to touch this, touch this, touch this. That's how we end up delaying. I'll give you the example of the strike of the teachers for salaries. We've been telling people, you people, the government has got so many things to do. And we have got scarce resources. So the best thing is to see what will I do that will help me to get more capacity to do other things. When now you compare like the roads compared to salaries of public servants, you can see that a road would help, a road or electricity will help the economy to attract, let's take electricity as the best example, to attract investments. Once you have got enough electricity, then more factories come, like those ones which are here in Mbali. They come. Once they come, they give you more capacity. So if I am having a choice, I don't have enough money, what do I do? Do I increase the salaries of public servants, or do I build the power station? Me, the developer, I'll go for the electricity first. Why? Two reasons. First of all, salaries are recurrent. Once you start, you don't stop. They will go on forever. While a power station, you build it once, you will not build it again for 50 years. And then it has given you a boost. You are now able to attract more factories. The same with the road. The road, once you build it, it can last like 20 years. But because of wanting to touch too many things, that's why you find the road like in Abumali takes time. Because there's the road, the salaries, there is all these things people talk about. Even administration, districts, new districts, those all take money. But you find both the population and some of the leaders don't see this. For us, you have seen the army. Have you seen our army staying in grass thatched houses? Haven't you seen them in their grass?
Yes, we have.
Grass huts. You have seen the army?
Yes.
You have seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Why do we stay in grass thatched houses? Because we want to defend our country. We are not here to joke. But we don't have enough money. So what do? Do we build grofers to sleep? Who gonna? Or do we buy weapons to shoot anybody who wants to come here? So we buy weapons. And you find we don't have nice accommodation, but we are able to defend the country. This is the discipline that it will be good if all the other groups got it. But now we have found money. We are going to do that Namar Road and even the one of Nagongera. Electricity is quite developed here. The schools, the health centers, I was giving the report, they are all there. We are moving very well. Because like if you take the schools, I've been telling you on the rallies that in 1961 we had a lot of boys from the whole of Uganda at Ntare. Some of them are still alive, like Dokoria. Dokoria must be still alive. Dokoria. Wasike. Wasike was the headmaster of Nabumali. He must still be somewhere. And the other boy, Malinga, Stephen Malinga. These were all with me at Ntari. Why? Because the only A-level schools in Uganda were 3 for boys. Budo, Kisubi, and Ntari. Only 3 A-level schools. For girls, Nabingo, Namagunga, Gayaza. So all these boys from all over the place were coming to Ntari. Because Ntari also had a reputation of good performance. But now when I come here and I look in my files, you find each of these smaller counties, former counties of Bukedi district. Because Parisa was a county. Parisa, including Chibuku, all these groups we are talking about, these were one county called Parisa. You find each one of them has got 9 government secondary schools, 10, what? It's really, for me, I'm very happy. Of course, for you don't know because you were somewhere else. You are not here, you don't know what I know. But for me, I feel very, very happy because at Ntari, we had a lot of boys from Kachonga. All those boys came from Kachonga. Oboth. There was a boy called Oboth. I don't know what happened to him. Oboth. Boys like Ekisa. I don't know what happened to Ekisa. I've never. Ekisa. So many of those boys. So that's development. In one of my messages, I have given the summary. Now the third one is the tricky one, which really confuses people. Wealth. Oh, that one. I think it is part of the colonial colonial disorientation. They were not talking about wealth. Because traditionally, wealth is the number one. The Banyankole say, Katunje and Tenurtoche. They say, I wish you have cows and banana plantation. But you don't hear in the colonial, neo-colonial system, they were not talking about it. They were talking about jobs, Obwami. They started talking about Obwami, being a chief. Being a chief was more important than wealth. Of course, for us, we are not convinced. That's why I came to, because that's why my family, I'm the only member of my family to be in the government. And maybe Saleh who followed me. But the British came here. My great-grandfather was here. They died around 1943 there. It is Kaguta who joined the church for the first time, 1947. But although we joined the church, we remained traditional. So when I came in the system, what are these people talking about? In the university, development, roads. I don't care about a road. My cows don't eat roads. My cows eat grass. So for me, I start with the cows. When I bought Raiktura, 1967, there was no development there. But there was grass. That's why I bought it. There was a bar. Are you Tessos, you Pharaohs? The Japadoras, how do they call wealth? Lonyo? They have distorted our low language. You call it what? Lango. Laro. I can't follow it. Because me, I'm a natural speaker. I say lonyo. Obugaiga. Abagwere barakutumura batya. Obugaiga. That's like Runyankole, like Runyarutoro. So, when I came in the school system, university, I was surprised. The people were when they speak in the local development, and Tunguka, and Kulakulana. What are you talking about exactly? Roads. How about wealth? It's not clear. They think it is part of. That was the problem. But we were able to highlight it. That's what we have been talking about ever since. From 1960s, we were talking about it, where we were active. But when we came into the government, we talked to all Ugandans about it. And you can see Ugandans are waking up slowly. That's why you find big production now. Coffee now is like 12 million bags. This maize, milk, bananas. So individuals are getting out of poverty, but the country is also getting a lot of production. And that's why we put money. You check whether there's any government which had ever put aside money for wealth creation in the families. Never. You check because you say you're researchers. That's what you say. I hear that rumor that you are researchers. You research. Is there any government before NRM that has ever put there a wealth fund? The only money that would be used for wealth was in the UCB, Uganda Commercial Bank, where you would have to borrow with a land title and all that. It was like a business. But to find money to help families, it has never happened. Because they didn't take it as important. All other things were important, but not wealth. So you need to be very clear that it is the NRM that... I've had some of these people trying to copy NRM. Oh, this one... These people are running around that they want to be presidents. But the question is, if you believe in how wealth creation fund, why didn't you support the one of the NRM? Because we brought it in Parliament. Were there MPs supporting it? I don't think so. Or talking about it. Why were they not supporting it? I doubt very much. You can check the Hansard whether they were supporting these programs. So it is the NRM which has really identified that gap in people's lives. And then jobs. Jobs, again, that's another confusion. But it's really colonialism. Because before colonialism, what I introduced to you people recently, and you are now using it, emyoga. That word emyoga means livelihood specializations. Omwoga one is like a blacksmith. That's omwoga. A carpenter, omwoga. Mnogos are the ones of the clay, the ones who use clay, pottery. That's omwoga. Before colonialism, there was no unemployment because everybody had omwoga. This business of unemployment is a colonial phenomenon. Everybody had omwoga. Some were cattle herders, others were crop growers, others were fishermen. But when the Europeans came and they destroyed the emyoga, because like for instance, the woodwork, when they brought these plates, these breakable plates, that's what they call them, ebiatika. That's what they call our plates, which we are using. But me, I'm moving away. I'm going back to the wooden plates. Because the wooden plates are better than those poisonous plates full of all sorts of chemicals there. My people have just some plates from here because they had chemicals in them. So when the Europeans killed our indigenous industry by bringing imported plates, imported spoons, then the emyoga died. And then they started now wakarani, working for the colonial government as clerks, as school teachers, those smaller jobs. That's where the confusion came. So when you find that now, like these killing herb children whom I take for 6 months, and they come back and they become something, and yet somebody has got a degree in literature, and he can't feed himself. He's quoting Shakespeare. Shakespeare said this, Shakespeare said that. It's really madness. I studied literature. I was very good at it. But I didn't continue with it because I could see, knowing what Shakespeare said, how does that help me? After A-level, I abandoned. It's very nice. I liked it. I'm very good at those writings. If I write an article against you, you will not like it. But I had to know that our society before colonialism was science-based. when you hear our struggle with these arts teachers who are striking that we should not prioritize the scientists, it is because the colonial society was away from science. But the pre-capitalist, pre-colonial society was science-based. Imyoga was science. Blacksmith, what? All those were science. But we moved from a science society to a society of just storytelling. Yes, storytelling was there, but it was a minority. The majority of the people were in the myoga. If you have, I don't know whether you still have elders who can help you. So we are now taking you back to tell you that wealth is the one which creates jobs. And wealth is in the four sectors. It's in commercial agriculture, is in manufacturing, is in services, is in ICT. All those are forms of wealth. And you can join any one of them. Now, number 5 is service delivery. We discuss in the manifesto service delivery, education, health, security, judicial service. All those are services extended to the citizens by either the government or the private sector. That one, as you can see, has also moved. That's why the population is growing. If you look at Butareja, when we gave you a district, I think you were like 100,000. But now Butareja is 300,000 people. All these areas. Yeah. Very small populations at the beginning. Why? Because of the poor service delivery, health service delivery. That's the number 5. Number 6, market. Where will you sell what you produce? Is the internal market of Uganda enough? Is the internal market of Uganda enough? And if the internal market of Uganda is enough, why would Chinese, who have got a market of 1.4 billion, be looking for markets here? It's really amazing when I see you fellows, young people, and all these other people, politicians, intellectuals. What are you intellectualizing about? You are not talking about the market integration of Africa. What are you talking about? What are you talking about exactly? Are you going to survive in this world, or you will just disappear like the Red Indians? You know, when you go to America, there are people they are calling Americans now. These are Europeans who came and took the land of the Indians. And the Indians disappeared. So you fellows, for me, I will go to heaven in a few years' time. But you who stay here, if you don't wake up, you may end up in a very bad situation. You are talking about European football. Which club has played football? I cannot watch those clubs. I have not watched football since 1966. I am too busy with how to survive. So this should be the big debate on all the radios, all the news, but now you look at empty, off the point. In the school, somebody can write a long essay, then the teacher comes and says, off the point. You have written a lot of things, but they are not dealing with the issue. You are not dealing with your future, you people. Now the enemy is begging you in writing, please, sir, madam, Gen Z, and which is the other one, Gen Z, this other X, Generation X, right? All of you, millennial, please, can you discuss the issue of market? Because if you don't have market, if I was in America, I would be a billionaire by now. Because I am a wealth creator, I produce milk. But the internal demand of milk is limited. We are now producing 5.3 billion liters, but the internal demand is 800 million. So we've got a surplus of 4 billion liters. And we've been trying to sell the milk in Kenya. Sometimes they buy, sometimes they don't. Then we go to Algeria. Then sugar. Big production of sugar. The internal demand is not enough. Maize, cement. All these products. So please discuss the market. Link up with your friends in Kenya, Tanzania. Instead of rioting, talk about market. And if you have studied European history, which some of you study, you'd have known how Germany united, even Italy, all of them. By 1870, Germany was not one country. They were Germans, but they were being governed in 39 kingdoms. Prussia, Bavaria, Saxony, 39 of them. But they were very clever capitalists in Prussia who said, we Germans are scattered in different kingdoms. How shall we build capitalism? That's how they had to fight a war with France, the Franco-Prussian War of 1870, where France was defeated, and the Germans united. And what was moving them was the issue of the market. So we put it in the manifesto. Even 100 years from now, people will come and say, there are people who had eyes to see that a modern economy cannot grow without a market. So you are wasting time talking. What are you talking about? You're not talking about things which will affect your future. Now the final point is political integration. East African Federation. Our leaders, I don't know whether my staff, do you have my pictures? Akoka. Do you have my pictures, the other pictures of East Africa? You have them? We can give it to the Federation here. Go and bring one. If you work with other East Africans and we form the common market, we consolidate, we have restored it for you. When we came in government, I worked with Museveni and Museveni, and we brought back the East African community. But it doesn't work very well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it stops. So now it should be your work now to follow up. Your radio talk show, Radio Parsa, radio, I don't know what, all those radios. You should be talking about, yes, you can talk about other small things, but you should also be talking about the consolidation of the East African community. But the federation concerns especially building a strong defense system. Now, you Africans, you are in danger now, I must tell you. Because again, you have allowed a technological gap to develop between you and other people. You are here dancing, you are but other human beings have gone to the moon. There are people who are on the moon now. They are looking at us from there. We are like insects. How you can see these insects which eat sugar? You are looking at them, they don't know you are seeing them. You can get doom. They die, they don't even know what's killed them. How can people, professors, how can a human group allow such a gap to come up and exist between them and other people? What are you doing? People are on the moon, you are just here running around. Chisoko, I don't know what. It's really terrible. I feel very sorry, so sorry. My daughter was here with me, and she was hearing me. She was in the room there and hearing me quarreling with all sorts of people. And then she said, "Why do you bother with these people? Why don't you leave them alone?" I said, "But if I leave them alone, we shall perish. You will all perish." I love myself. That's why I keep trying to wake up these three people. I love myself because I don't want my genes to disappear. That's why I keep saying, please, 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 trying to wake up people who are asleep. So, in order to guarantee our future, the way we are is not safe. We must build stronger states, stronger political units, not Uganda, Kenya. It's not strong enough to guarantee our future. So that's why we say for strategic security, we need a political integration. East Africa can have a strong capacity, and we go to the moon and send a satellite there and ask the Americans, what are you doing here? The moon is a common property. Now you fellows, you are just here. In Butareja, in Rajtura, people are on the moon. What if they decide to say we kill these fellows and finish with them? Because that's what happened. When the Europeans discovered gunpowder our people kept using only the spears. That was the problem. So a new threat now is coming, which we don't. And then politicians, what? Just disgusting. It's fake. What you engage is fake. Not serious at all. So that's why we patiently talk, beg, speak, big this one. Okay. We shall continue. So now we are putting it in writing. These are the 7 points. This is our manifesto. So we like the young fellows to know how we can save ourselves, save the African race. Those are the 7 points.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for elaborating more about the 7 points, because I believe the press that is here covers the whole region and the neighborhood. So the message will be disseminated to the masses and to reach the target audience as required. Your Excellency, one more thing that I would request you to elaborate more and have some light shaded on it is being the chairperson of the NRM, which is the mighty party. Your Excellency, the independents who have been cadres and turned to independence, catching up with a spiritual fight against the flag bearers, and in some constituencies you find them, if I may use the current word, vibing even above the flag bearers. As the chairperson of the party,
vibing is one.
Sounding. Yes, they sound vibrant compared to the ones.
You see, we debated that in the constitution making. There was a view that independence should not be allowed. But when we discussed it, we said for now, it may not be correct to ban independence because also the primaries of the parties sometimes have some issues. Sometimes they have some mistakes. So that's why we decided to use political ways of persuading independence to support flag bearers rather than the legal, the banning. And the political, we have been telling them are two. Of course, this is also ideological because even to compete, if I believe, like in the 7 points, I believe in the 7 points, what I've told you. Now, if I get one of my colleagues who believes in the same, why should I fight him? Because I fight the one who doesn't believe in what I believe in. This is the one I should fight with. But the one who believes in what I have said now, why would I even be competing against him? We would discuss with him. We say, oh, should you be the one to take the lead now? Or should I come? Or it should be a friendly discussion. But when you find this conflict, it is because they are not talking about the principles, they are talking about themselves. Me, to get a job, to get a job. It's about themselves and the jobs. Because if it was principles, you wouldn't have this conflict. Because you would, if we all believe the same. Like when we were with Mwalimu Nyerere, we were begging him not to retire. Because he's the one who was believing in what we were believing in, like the East African Federation. But when you hear people, Museveni again, Museveni should go, you know that they believe in nothing. Because if they believed in, like the 7 points I've told you, the more hands you have, the better for you to help you fight for those principles. Why would you want somebody who believes in your same principles as you to leave you alone? Why? You should say, Tondeka, don't leave me alone, and we're still fighting. So when you say, this one should go, this one should it means they have no mission. It's just themselves. This is number one. Because I could not say, Mwalimu, go. Go, he's the one. I am battling to have the East African Federation, to have the East African community. Even when we are 2 or 3, we have still problems. So why would I say that the colleague I have should go? I remain alone. Why? It shows you that no ideological. So this is number one. But number two, we've been telling them that, of course, the good thing with the NRM supporters is that even when they are not very clear, at least they are not disruptive. They are not very clear, but they are not disruptive. They go along, and we move as time goes on. People, as you can see, people now, from when I look at the population, I can see they are beginning to wake up. This issue of PDM, I don't know what your assessment, but I think PDM is helping many people to wake up and know. So the NRM people, even when they are not clear, because they are not disruptive, they allow us to move forward. And the longer we move, the more we move forward, the clearer things will be. So therefore, it is wrong politically for this independent to insist and be in the race. Because suppose we lose the constituency because of you. That means now, because the opposition are not only ideologically bankrupt, but they are also disruptive. The NRM people, some of them may not be clear, but they are not disruptive. We move along. They are not very clear. They waste money. For instance, money is not necessary with political mobilization. No. What is crucial is the word, what you tell people. So if I'm a mobilizer, the only money I would need is fuel to move and reach people. But because people are not clear, the money. But when they are not clear but not disruptive, they are better than the disruptors. So the independents are in danger of causing the loss of these constituencies. That's number one. But number two, even if you are all NRM, you cause a lot of disharmony among our people. So we told them, if you have evidence that the some people cheated. Why don't you bring it? We can even use the law to the criminal law. If somebody altered results, what? But many of them don't have that evidence. So then we say, if you don't have that evidence, why don't you wait for another chance? Why do you? So we are using political arguments to persuade them, because legally we didn't take that route that time. And the main reason was because the primaries themselves still have, they also make a lot of mistakes in the primary sometimes. So that's why it may be, it's premature to ban out the independence completely, which is, we thought about it, but we hesitated. So, but when you talk to them, some of them have changed, they have come out. They have come out. Okay?
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Finally, before I hand over to Mr. Olsimbi, so that we might share with the press team which is here, they could be having one or two. Your Excellency, currently, Uganda Bureau of Statistics report indicates Bukedi as the poorest region. For this time, you've been trailing in Bukedi. Hope you have observed one or two things, but in line with this. But as the chairman of the party, how do you wish to restore Bukedi as it used to be? History has it that it was one of those regions that were wealthy.
Well, I don't know the Bukedi was wealthy. Because like when I was coming here in the 60s, most of the houses were democratically grass huts. I don't remember seeing my bad houses so much. All of many grass huts, because I used to walk in these villages when we were fighting. You can ask my daughter. I've got my daughter, the girl called, what? She's there, who boiled water with milk and we called it tea. What is my girl's name? The one in Tororo. Salome. 1971, when I was with the peasants near the border with Kenya. There's a river there, near the river. I was staying in their grass-thatched houses of the peasants. So this when Bukedi was rich, I don't remember that time. Yes, they were growing some cotton, but cotton, when they were growing some cotton, at one time they were even growing something called hemp for jute. There was a jute factory in Toro. There was a gunny bag factory there. I don't think that there was that time when. Yes, they had some cows. Even in Tesson, Zango, they had those zebu cows. Of course, these were there, they would help. But the mistake is that people did not take up our message of 1995-96 of this 4 acres model. The 7 activities which we advised, they didn't take them up. So when you go around the poverty you're talking about, you see they are growing some hogo, which is all right. That at least that's what is the food. But there's no other activity you see. Commercial. The few who have grown fruits they do well because we had recommended coffee, fruits, dairy for cows, pasture for dairy cows, cassava like for food. In the backyard, eggs, poultry, piggery, and fish farming. If you do those, you'll get a lot of money. Yeah. So this is where we need to go. Now, some of the people, Museveni has been talking of adding palm trees, and some other people have been talking of cocoa. So this land is not, although they say the land is fragmented, but it's I see land big enough to be used for real earning money. Joseph Ijara of Sereri, the one who is earning more than 2 billion now, he started with 2.5 acres. But he just picked two of our activities. He picked the eggs and the dairy. Yeah. So the problem is curable. It is only because people didn't listen to that message. Because that message is clear and deliberate. This is what we call intensive agriculture. You can also have extensive agriculture. Like the cotton, which the foreigners were making our people here grow, could only make sense if you do it on a big scale. But when I came to Paris, those places, Iki, there was some what do you call these, ginaries. The one which was bought by the South Africans. That South African boy was trying to deceive my people here. To say, because I asked them, how many kilograms, this Parisa here, how many kilograms of cotton per year? 200. What is the price? I think the price was 200 shillings that time. So 40,000 shillings a year for a family. I said, but this is murder. We're trying to kill these people. Then the boy said, no, Mr. President, don't worry. We are going to increase the yield. You increase it to what? Oh, we can go to 1,000 kilograms per acre. Okay. Because the average land holding in Paris was 2 acres. That time, because I went there myself physically. So, okay, even if it is, so you find a family, I've got only 1 acre for making money. The other acre is for growing cassava for the family, which is in order. So if you say 1,000 times 200 was 200,000 shillings, how can that support a family? So that's why I campaigned cotton in the east and the north, and I proposed oranges and mangoes. They earn much more money, much more. You saw the video I showed you about the Karamoja mine. But people didn't take it up. They left it like that. So that's where the problem is. So now we are here. We have now brought PDM. PDM, they don't always buy coffee and so on. But I'm going to introduce the distribution of coffee seedlings. PDM will continue. Because when they get PDM, they buy Sekoko, which I didn't know myself. They buy. then somebody buys sheep, somebody buys hare, rabbits, somebody buys. Very good. Let them buy whatever they want. But we are also going to resume. I have instructed the government institutions to now develop seed beds for coffee, for fruits. So we shall parallel distribute. While the PDM continues, we shall redistribute the coffee seedlings and seedlings of fruits, and maybe palm oil, and maybe cocoa also, because they are now more expensive now. When NAD is pulled out, the coffee seedlings are now 2,000 what per seedling. So this PDM may not manage to buy those seedlings. So we shall develop them, distribute them free. Additionally to PDM. But for Bukedi and this area, I want to also emphasize fish farming. Fish farming, we are going to bring equipment, using government equipment to make fish ponds for the people and hand them over. That's where the problem is. Tororo is very rich, but enterprise selection is very poor. Enterprise selection. They have not selected. They have not listened to our advice on enterprise selection. Masaka is doing well because they did coffee. Masaka, this other place, Bundugujo, Karangara, they are doing well. The cattle corridor people are doing very well because of the milk. So Bukedi and Busoga and even Teso will come up. Fish farming will do miracles here. I'm sure about fish farming. Okay.
Your Excellency, according to your boss, the poverty level of Bukedi is at 29.9%. And this is attributed to over-reliance on agriculture, which is negatively affected by declining soil fertility, the climate change, and poor farming methods.
Over-reliance on what?
On agriculture.
Agriculture.
And then they are using poor farming methods. And then the declining soils because of basic agriculture.
But all those are connected because you see what they call outdated practices. Because they are growing rice in the wetlands, and when I was in Butareja, the boy from Doho told me that whatever you do, you can earn about 5 million shillings net per acre for rice. But from fruits, you can earn much more, and from fish. But then also, connected with what Right Honorable was saying, the Olukalu, the dry land, the land which is not swamp, there is no irrigation, because those are the practices Anita would be talking about. Irrigation, fertilizer are not used. Declining soil fertility. So how do you solve that? You irrigate and fertilizer. But how will you irrigate if you have dried the water in the swamp? So that's why we need really to help our people.
I think diversity is very important. Moving away from agriculture alone, like what you're saying, you do fish farming, you do cattle rearing and all those kind of things. That would really improve.
It will help, but also doing agriculture properly now. Because God has done everything here. We are interfering with God's work. Because there is a swamp, there is Olkaru. Just near one another. So if you instead of doing fish farm or swamp rice, you do fish farming, the water comes back, you irrigate now the dry land. I'm looking at millionaires, billionaires here. You'll be so rich. Okay, let's have some questions and finish.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We only have
who gonna?
We only have 2 questions, and I'll start with Alexander.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The Right Honorable Speaker Toto, NRM dignitaries around, I'm Tenyo Alexander, a proud Muzukuru, who was once NRM mobilizer and chased out of a radio station because of that, but thank God that I'm working with the Challenge FM in Chibuku. Your Excellency, I take this opportunity to thank you for elaborating the 7 points. Actually, my question is covered in the 7 points. And the 7th point, I was developing worries because of that technological gap. But since you are here with us, I would ask that you take a lead to come up with the big structure of building a political unity in East Africa. Your Excellency, you have talked about fish farming, especially in Bukedi, Busoga, and Teso. Allow me to let you know that the people of Bukedi, especially the fish farmers at Limoto Fish Farm in Palisa, they are among the farmers which are facing a lot of challenges, and these are in extension services, feeding, and market. Your Excellency, being an expert in fish farming, how are you planning to help these farmers so that fish farming can take up to your expectation? Thank you.
The feeds are now being made in Jinja. There's a huge factory which I opened the other day. It is true, previously there was no well-organized fish feed farm, but the other day I opened a big one in Njeru. So the fish feeds are there now, and they are going to build another one in Ukarasa. The Dutch, they are going to do that. So what I will do, they wanted me to go there and Limoto. I was supposed to go there, but I didn't get time. I will send my people, because they are the fish experts. I will send them. They will tell us what to do. The fish feeds are now there, being made locally here in Njeru. If they have a problem of revolving fund, to buy them, we shall provide the revolving fund. So there's no problem. There's no problem. There's no problem that cannot be solved. I will send my staff to remote to see what is there now.
Juma? Last question. Juma?
Your Excellency, my name is Juma Said. I'm the chairperson of Bukedi Media Association, and I work with the Rock Mambo Radio, belonging to the late Paul Ambassador Tiang. Your Excellency, my question is around healthcare. Bukedi sub-region is grappling with a severe healthcare crisis. The sub-region has around 4 general hospitals. We do not have a regional referral hospital with around 8 health center 4s. Your Excellency, the situation is further worsened by lack of essential medical equipment, including functional X-ray machines and a severe shortage of ambulances. Even the few districts that have ambulances, the state at which they are in is so deplorable. Now, based on this, Your Excellency, the leaders from Bukedi have been prompted to demand for an urgent action before the healthcare crisis worsens. For instance, for us from the border town of Busia, people requiring X-rays have either crossed to the Kenyan border of the site or be treated without diagnosis. My question is, as we are protecting the gains without any disruption, what plans do we have as we enter 2026-2031, Your Excellency? Thank you very much.
Well, I thank you very much. I will get the PS of health to be in touch with you, so that you, Nani, take the contact of this wonderful person, because that's a useful journalist. Who is highlighting weaknesses. So get his contact, and the PS will come to be in touch with you, and you give her that information. But the little I know about health, I think because all the things you are talking about are about the curative side. The curative side. But I think on the prevention side, there's been a lot of success, especially the immunization. Have you had any problem with the polios and the measles and so on? So that means that when you do things right, you can succeed. So immunization has succeeded. But also there is a gap there, because immunization is one part of prevention, but there are other parts, like nutrition, like hygiene, like lifestyle. Because that disease burden, those people who are sick, what are they sick from? From what I will check, I will tell my people to check. Is it malaria? What sickness are they? Because they are talking of hospital, referral hospital. What are they referring to them about? Because if the prevention is working well, you should be having a few cases of referral.
Your Excellency, at the time I joined Parliament in 1996, Butaleja had a rampant problem with cholera every rainy season.
I remember that.
And ever since the water situation improved, like you had this evening during the rally, even during any flooding, we have not had any cholera infection in Butaleja over the years because of the improvement in the quality of water and the quality of life. So this marks a tremendous improvement.
What Dombo is saying is confirming that prevention is better than cure. Because in this case, by having piped water or borehole water, you avoid the other water which is open, contaminated by human feces. So, for me, what I suspect is that the disease burden could be that you have not done enough on the prevention side. Yes, you have done immunization, government has done immunization, good. No polio, no measles, very good. Maybe no cholera because of the water, good. But how about malaria? Malaria prevention. Indoor spraying, using treated bed nets, all those. If they haven't done that, then lifestyle, drinking alcohol and things like that, smoking, then nutrition. But I will tell the PS to be in touch with you. You are now my consultant.
Your Excellency. Your Excellency.
Take the telephone of this boy.
Your Excellency, this young boy raises a very pertinent issue. Very, very pertinent, which must be followed. We may talk about the prevention and all that, but there are some sicknesses, there are some essential things that we need in hospitals. Even just mere cough, when you have cough and it is persistent, you go to the hospital will want to do an X-ray to check on your chest what could be the problem before they treat you. So when he raises an issue of an ambulance, he raises an issue of an X-ray, he raises, at least he's not asking for a CT scan, because that one is really very expensive. He raises those immediate things that are required in a hospital.
Absolutely, those are minimum.
Those are very serious things that need to be handled.
That's why I want the PS to talk to him, so that we know why would there not be an X-ray? It is part of the standard equipment.
Ambulance.
And ambulance.
Yes. Because if women are giving birth and in case there's an emergency, that health center cannot handle, that woman has to be taken to a bigger hospital, maybe for an operation or whatever. So that must be used.
Yes. No, the other one, even if you do the prevention properly, you cannot avoid some of that minimum equipment.
You cannot even prevent becoming pregnant.
No.
And producing.
Although Speaker, the part of the problem of the pregnancy is actually to do with the nutrition. Because when people are undernourished, they don't mature properly. The bones, the pelvic system,
And early pregnancy as
and
well.
early pregnancy. So if you have got pregnancy when you are, because a girl should not, you know, the Banyankore would say, as Zrak, Bam Hinger. That meaning that the girl has menstruated twice and they have married her off. That was really suicide. Because children who were menstruated twice, they may be even as young as 12. So that's why science says no, wait for the child to be 18. So early marriage is very dangerous because the children are not yet developed fully. But secondly, even when they are 18, if they have not eaten well, they may not. But still, you are right that all this should be detected by somebody. As we are having the long-term solutions, they should be, even those CT scans should be there to see those things. That's why we're supposed to have the health center 4. We're supposed to have something there. I'm going to demand equipment, the standard equipment per each level. Okay.
Thank you. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for giving the accountability of what you've done in the last 5 years and what you are going to do for this country and for the people of Uganda in the next coming Kisanja, the next 5 years. To our dear listeners outside there, we also want you to first understand and make analysis of where Uganda is coming from, where we are now, and where we want to be, where we want to go. And that is what will make you make a choice on 15th January to choose the best president and, of course, the best candidate that we have that is passionate about the people of Uganda is President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He's a person who believes and loves the people of this country. We also want Your Excellency to thank you for having love for the traditions, the cultures, and the values of Ugandans, and being biblical in believing what the Bible teaches. As in Uganda, we want to thank you so much that you respected the cultures, the values of Ugandans, and believed in what the Bible says, especially when you signed the anti-homosexuality law that protected our generations to come. Our request and plea to all Ugandans and to all the voters outside there that vote for President Museveni, and your vote counts for the next generations. And it is that vote that will shape the future of our country, the future of our children, and the future of this economy. And I say all this for God and my country.
Now, have you taken the telephone of that journalist? You took it. And where's my picture?